Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me present you our Toastmaster of the day and also our beloved president, Toastmaster Ben.
All right, thank you, Seni, and welcome everybody to Bhinneka Online Toastmasters Club. Now, we do have a couple guests here, so let me just give you a little insight to our club, right? We have our values, which is as simple as ABC: appreciate our club members, build each other up, and celebrate our successes. And today, our theme is reduce, reuse, and recycle. Obviously, it's continuous. It's always important to make sure that we're always trying to be cautious and get a little bit more green. And fun fact, I'm a social studies teacher, and my students right now are creating a project where they're designing green cities, taking some inspiration from other places and how they can create their green city. It's kind of fun. So this is kind of goes right along those lines with that theme as well. And we'll have our grammarian introduce the word of the day a little bit later. But again, we have a great little small meeting, which is okay. Sometimes small meetings are a little bit more intimate and in some ways can be even more, have more quality because we get a little bit more information and pay a little bit more attention. So let me introduce our GE of the evening to introduce her team, our immediate past president of the Bhinneka Online Toastmasters Club, distinguished Toastmaster Natalie Jayati.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ben, and also our current president. Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie, and tonight I will be serving as your general evaluator. My main duty is to evaluate the whole meeting proceeding from beginning until the end. And of course, I cannot do this by myself, so I have a team of members, technical role players who will help me. So first up, I would like to invite the grammarian, Toastmasters Titin, coming all the way from Empire Toastmasters Club to briefly introduce her role. So please give her a warm welcome. Toastmaster Titin.
Thank you, GE and Natalie. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm serving as a grammarian today, and as a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to the language usage, and I'll take note of outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. And as grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word of the day is salvage. Salvage can be a verb and can also be a noun. As a verb, salvage means rescue. Let's say a wreck or disabled ship or its cargo was from lost at sea. An emerald and gold cross was salvaged from the wreck. And another explanation of the word salvage as a verb to apprehend and execute without trial. For example, those who are salvaged simply disappear from their homes or workplaces. So again, the word salvage as a verb can mean rescue and execute. While the word salvage as a noun means the rescue of a wreck or disabled ship or its cargo from lost at sea. For example, a salvage operation was underway. And I will provide my report at the end of the meeting when called upon by the GE. Thank you, and back to you, GE, Peter Natalie.
Thank you, our grammarian Toastmaster Titin, for that two-row explanations. She really salvaged the meeting. And then our next technical role player is our timer, Toastmaster Rendra. So I would like to invite Toastmaster Rendra to briefly introduce his role. Please welcome Toastmaster Rendra.
Oh, thank you, immediate past president Natalie. Ladies and gentlemen, as a timer, I would like to ensure that you will be using your time wisely because everything in Toastmaster is time counted. Well, we have a limited time, of course, and to appreciate somebody else already slotted its time. Now, for speakers, as usual, we have 5 to 7 minutes so far I know from the agenda. So basically, in a 5 minutes, you will see my background color turning green. Is it green to your screen? Already? Okay, cool. It is green now. Now for 6 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me because I kind of forgot something. Okay, 6 minutes, you will see my background color turning yellow. Okay, it is yellow to your screen.
Yes.
Cool.
No.
And then the last minutes of 7th minutes, you'll see this red turning my background. It has 30 minutes until you are disqualified for 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So ensure if you see red, you wrap up smoothly and beautifully your speech. Now, it's almost the same with the table topic. Well, of course, table topic is shorter. So it is 1 to 2 minutes. So of course, after 1 minute, you will see the background is green as usual. And then 1 minute and 30 seconds, you will see the background turning to yellow like this. And finally, at the 2nd minutes, you will see the red turning on my background. It lasts 30 seconds. And after that, you will be disqualified. As usual, please wrap up smoothly and beautifully. Now, we still have the evaluations. Evaluation will be running 2 until 3 minutes. As usual, it is 2 minutes. You will see the background of my screen will be turning green. It means that you are qualified. If in all the speeches, if you are seeing green, means you can conclude your speech. And then for 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the evaluation sessions, you will see the yellow as my background color. Finally, at the 3rd minutes, you will see the red color as my background. As usual, it is 30 seconds only before you disqualified. So, as usual, close your speech beautifully, and if it needed, closely funny. Thank you so much.
Thank you, our timer, also our current VPM, Toastmaster Rendra. And why do we need to time it well? Because we also have a role called ballot counter. And I would like to invite Toastmaster Seni to briefly introduce her role. Please welcome Toastmaster Seni.
Hello everyone, it's me again, Sani. Yes, I am the ballot counter today. Yes, we know today is not a competition day, but we present awards. We appreciate every best speaker today. So my job, I will launch the poll in the end of the 3rd session. So it will be after evaluation session. So perform the best, all the speakers, and we will vote for you. Back to our Madam GE.
Thank you, our ballot counter, also our SAA, Toastmaster Seni. And last but not least, in the GE team, we have a role called counter, which I believe is quite special in Toastmaster. And tonight's counter is Toastmaster Intan. So I would like to welcome Toastmaster Intan, who will briefly introduce her role.
Hi everyone, my name is Intan and I will be your counter today. Well, my job is to count your lexical fillers or non-lexical fillers. So good luck for today, everyone. Back to G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Intan. Remember, her role is to assist you to identify your speaking crutches. So don't worry if you see a lot of or ums, because it's part of the learning process. Okay, that's it for me and my team to introduce our role, and we will come back in the second half of the meeting. I'll return and I'll pass it over back to Toastmaster Ben Whitaker.
All right, thank you, Madam GE. And again, as most of us here are Toastmasters, we do have a guest popping in. Amran, are you there? Amran, are you there? Amran? Oh,
Yes, that is right. Amran here from Kota
All right.
Kinabalu Toastmaster Club.
excellent. Another
Yes.
guest. Are you here
Yes.
supporting your fellow club member?
Yes, I'm supporting Rachel, my
Excellent.
mentee.
Fantastic. Well done.
Yes.
All
thank
right.
you.
That's one thing about Bhinneka is we are an international club. That's one benefit of being online. We're spread all over Indonesia. Myself,
Mhm.
and Natalie in Bali. We have people in Java. We have people in just about everywhere, even in Mauritius, which we have our very first speaker is visiting from the beautiful, beautiful island of Mauritius. And to evaluate her today is going to be Fifi Amawati. Do you want to go ahead and introduce the first speaker?
Hi, my fellow Toastmasters. Today, I will be the evaluator of Toastmaster Severin, who will present her project about leadership style. So she will going to deliver a well-organized speech about some aspects of leadership in 5 until 7 minutes. And the speech title is Democratic Authoritarian. Please welcome Toastmaster Severin with her speech title, The Democratic Authoritarian, in 5 until 7 minutes.
Can you please switch on your mic for a few seconds to start my speech, please?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So now I'll start.
Mhm.
Who can say with confidence that he or she can embrace his true or her identity? Who?
You mean in terms of leadership?
That means that you can face that who you are truly. Who can say that he can do this? He or she can do this.
I don't think so. Hardly.
Very scary, right?
Yep.
So today I have a confession. There is a part of me who is authoritarian. A part of me that I always denied, but that was really in me. And when I took the test on the Toastmasters platform in the pathway of dynamic leadership, the word authoritarian came to my face. And alone with my screen, I had to swallow my ego and read more about it. So in short, the authoritative style of leadership is about leading by power. Please do not be afraid. You would be surprised to know that it had been strangely empowering and strong to read about what is an authoritative leader. I was myself surprised because I have studied leadership at postgraduate level, and it had always had the bad image, like if to be an authoritative leader is a bad thing and it is not someone who is very effective. However, I have learned that the authoritative leader is someone who has a clear and long-term vision. And in this case, I totally see myself as being an authority in the fields or projects I lead, because most of the time I see further than the group and my goals are always big. I believe it is also because I choose fields in which I have more knowledge and experience than others. And this is truly a particularity of the authoritative leader. However, challenges might present themselves because as an authoritative leader, I do not like to give very broad explanation, but invest most of my time in being an inspiration to others. But this means that I need to have team members who are of high capacity, who are very knowledgeable. But the good thing is that I am a firm believer that people are talented, and I believe in their ability to do their best. And guess what? The second top style of leadership which they identified is that I am a democratic leader. I know it sounds paradoxical, but it is not. I have learned through this module that people do not only display one style of leadership. Actually, they display different styles of leadership because they have to adapt to different situations. So I was very relieved to know that I am also democratic, because I believe I am an advocate of justice. So while I do not give explicit guidance on how to do work as an authoritative leader, as a democratic leader, I give freedom to my team members to express themselves and to take on roles because I believe also they are competent. From my experience, I have started a club in my school with some students, and I realized that I display the two types of leadership style. First, I have chosen a club in a field that I am specialized, which means that I am more knowledgeable in the field than the club members. And I see also that I am an ambitious leader who sees things in big. But I must confess that for teenagers, it might be difficult to be able to translate my big ideas, my non-explicit guidance into real tasks. So I believe I should make an effort to be able to explain to them in details my aims and objectives. And reflecting also, I have come to realize that I have been in situations with authoritarian leader, and I had difficulties understanding their expectations. And this also make me think that there is some more effort that I need to make so as to better serve my team members. And as a democratic leader, I felt very comfortable knowing that I am a good communicator. But it seems that sometimes when you have urgent matters, you cannot always wait for consensus as a democratic leader. But with good communication and my inclusive style of doing things, do not make people feel out. So to conclude, I believe that it is a very interesting thing to learn about leadership, because it makes you understand and use your leadership style more efficiently. So from reading about my leadership style, from embracing who I am as a leader, I am able to really use the skills and the qualities of my leadership styles, which are authoritarian and democratic, and also to think about the shortcomings of these two styles to be able to better lead my teams. So what about you? Over to you.
Fantastic. Yes, it is sometimes tough, as long as we know that there's certain situations where we have to be able to lead a certain way. And with teenagers, like I also teach teenagers, I pretty much try to be democratic in some ways, giving them a little bit of hope, but pretty much I am the authority in my classroom and they have no say. So yes, I can definitely manage and understand the difficulty with trying to get teenagers to do anything, let alone listen to you. So well done, Severine. Thank you so much for coming and presenting your speech to us. Very, very well done. All right, let me salvage. It's really hard to use salvage in a transition, but I'm going to try to, because it's not really bad. This is good. Not really, nothing's broke down yet. So I'm just going to use the word salvage as it's the word of the day. So that counts. Remember to use it if you can. Our next speaker, we have a little treat for all of you. I would really encourage all of you to take notes, because we're going to do a round robin evaluation, meaning that we can all have a little bit of input. And our next speaker will be practicing his speech for the humorous speech contest. Toastmaster Lutfi Ahmed Jazuli will be presenting a speech for 5 to 7 minutes. I told you so. I told you so. Toastmaster Lutfi Ahmed Jazuli.
Am I audible? Okay. Why do you join Toastmaster? Some people join Toastmaster because it boosts your self-confidence, right? The other half join Toastmaster to face the most feared activity of all for mankind. Can you guess? Yes, the fear of public speaking. So in Toastmaster, we learn about types of speeches. We have prepared speeches like what I do now, and also impromptu speeches like table topics activity. But there's one speech that Toastmaster didn't teach. It is the I told you so speech. My first ever I told you speech moment was when I was 7 years old. So like all other 7 years old boys, I like climbing. Climb everything. No, I was not inspired by Spider-Man. No, because my favorite is actually Superman, right? So my mom was like going to get a heart attack if I jump from the roof. Uh, I just love climbing. And my favorite climbing spot is an alley near my house. It's a narrow alley that only 2 persons can pass. Even motorcycle won't fit in there. One day I climbed that alley. My mom told me over and over actually, Lufty, don't climb that alley. Don't climb that alley, you might fall. And do I listen to my mom? Of course, no. So I just kept on climbing until one day I fell, like bang, I fell. And that is when my mama said, I told you not to climb that alley, didn't I? Don't you just hate it when your mom is always right? That, ladies and gentlemen, my first I told you so moment. So fast forward to not so distant future. When I was 30 years old something, I have a colleague at work. His name is Mr. Sonny. He's kind of short, a little bit fat guy, chubby, but he's really a nice guy. Always polite to everyone, even to younger colleagues. He was 40 years old at that time when I first know him. We talk a lot, talk about work. And one day he told me how he felt tired about all the routines, all the targets, work pressures. He just wanted to quit. Now, being an idealistic youth, I confidently told him, be strong. You can do it. Don't give up, man. Just like a seasonal pro motivator. But little did I know that what I said is going back at me. Now, some people said life begins at 40. Don't you agree? Well, now I'm now 42 years old, even though I still look like 27. So life begins at 40, so now I'm 2 years old. I began to look back and I remember my work colleague, Mr. Sonny. Now, do you believe in karma? That everything thrown out will come back at you? Well, let's just say that karma has a strange way of knocking my doorstep and says, hi, I'm back. Remember that he told, remember that how I told him, remember that he told me how tired he was with work. And I easily gave him my version of I told you so speech. How you should be more spirited, more energy. Come on, man, you can do this. And in an odd twist of universe plot, I am now in his position, 40-something and tired. But more handsome, of course. Just kidding. But I'm not kidding about being 40 and tired. Somehow I regret what I told him when I was not in his position. Life has a way of turning the tables, right? I do now realize that every time we gave the I told you so speech, usually we didn't put ourselves in their shoes. Just like how my mom didn't put herself in my shoes when I was 7 years old. And maybe just like all obnoxious kids, I just love climbing. It was my moment as a kid. And Mr. Sonny's moment was when he was 40. Obviously, he was older than me and understandably tired. And yet, I didn't put myself in his shoes when I gave him a pep talk. Now, what a big mistake it was. So after a few hard lessons, I realized one thing. Don't give I told you so speech easily. We might not understand what other might be through in their life. especially when we are not in their shoes. And what might be worse is when all the I told you so speeches is somehow coming back at you. Now, allow me to close my speech with an epilogue. So after I realized my mistake, I make a phone call. Like I call Mr. Sonny, who is now 50. And I told him, Mr. Sonny, do you remember how I told you to be strong? I apologize. I sincerely apologize for all the pep talk and the I told you so talk that I gave you a few years ago. It was inappropriate because I was not in your shoe and I'm now in your exact shoe. I deeply apologize. So from now, I started my life with less I told you and more of what can you tell me. Thank you. Back to you, Ben.
All right, fantastic. Now you can see in some parts of this where I kind of mixed up in the beginning when I said it's a humorous speech, because he was quite humorous in many areas. And number two, there's no way you're 42. I got 6 more years until I'm 42. I do not want to see what I look like at that point. It's not going to be good. So lucky you. You definitely do look like you're still 27. All right, so I'm just buying a little time so Luke can kind of mentally transition so he can introduce the next speaker. And one of the things is I've been, one thing about being on Zoom is we can kind of see each other's faces and kind of just see how much thinking we're putting in. A lot of us are being role takers. And the next speaker has been smiling pretty much the whole entire time. So this will be a positive speech, I think. I'm going to let our third evaluator, you just heard him speak. So our third evaluator, Luthi, you want to go ahead and introduce our third speaker.
Okay, our next speaker is Rachel Chan, and she'll giving her Fusionary Communication Level 3 speech, descriptive language. The duration of the speech will be from 5 to 7 minutes. And her speech is, hello, my baby, Rachel Chan.
Thank you. Am I visible? Am I audible?
Yes.
All women want to embrace motherhood at least once in their lives. As a young girl, I have dressed up like my mother and enjoyed playing with dolls, treating them like babies, dressing and feeding them. I've done all of that. Now I just laugh when I think about those times. I am a mother today. Last December, my little prince celebrated his 21st birthday. I'm sharing this story to relive my pregnancy and motherhood journey. Ladies and gentlemen, for Chinese, we're still celebrating Chinese New Year. There are 15 days all in all. My son have not been back to my hometown for 2 years. He was attending university and in the campus in Kuala Lumpur. Since the pandemic, he wasn't able to come back to visit me. So last week, finally he came back. The moment when he arrived to the airport, I was so excited. Then I realized something. For 2 years that I have not seen him, he has grown taller. I am 5'3", and he is 5'10". When he came out from the arrival hall, I quickly grabbed him and say, hello, my baby. He gave me a hug and kissed me. And then not long after that, a group of his friends came approaching me from my behind. And he said, Mom, I gotta go because my friends are waiting for me. I'll see you tonight. I was a bit sad, but excited at the same time because he was so happy to see his friends. And I said, all right, goodbye, baby. I see you tonight. 21 years ago, I still remember the last few minutes of my labor when my doctor said, "One more push, your baby will be here." And a few minutes later, I heard my baby for the first time. That was the moment when I had a smile on my face while my baby was crying loud. After cutting off the umbilical cord, the doctor placed him directly on my chest and asked, "Shall I take off my hands from baby? Will you be able to hold him?" Without delay, I replied, "Yes." At that time, I was so exhausted. I held him close, and that's when my journey of motherhood started. That was the time when I realized motherhood has changed my identity. That 10 long hours of labor pain vanished in a second after holding him. After his birth, I was reborn as a mother. The initial 2 months were quite difficult as I was handling things alone, both physically and emotionally. He slept in my arms most of the time. Rarely did he sleep in cradle or bed. I slept in a sitting position, holding him in my arms, neglecting my physical pain. But I always kept admiring him, whether he was asleep or awake, and made sure to capture all his cute moments with my Kodak camera. Things became quite comfortable as the years goes by. Ladies and gentlemen, hence the title of my speech, "Hello, my baby." Time flies. Time flies so fast. Now he is 21 years old. I am grateful to God for blessing me with a cute bundle of joy. He has given me a chance to live my life again. In most of the good and difficult times, I had been alone. At times, I really wanted someone beside me. And now I have my son who laughs when he enjoyed and appreciate my jokes, who cries when he sees me that I am upset or when I am in tears, who holds my hand and even give me a hug out of the blue. When I need support, I shared all my problems. I gave him a call. At his young, tender age of 21 years old, I really appreciate and amaze the amount of wisdom that he was able to share to me. And I just want to say that whether our child is a boy or a girl, both are precious. They are not only like our children, they are like my friends, like my companion, my teachers, my best friend. I call him Buddy sometimes, but every time when I see him, I will say, "Hello, my baby," even though he's already 21 years old. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you.
Very good job, Rachel. Here's one thing is having a 21-year-old son. Again, like Luffy, you guys just don't age. It's fantastic. Second, when you mentioned when your son came back from the airport for 2 years, it put me right back when I was 20 years old. I got off the plane from Iraq and I went to surprise my mom at her office. And I'm like, "Hi, Mom." And she got up and started crying in front of her coworkers. And I'm like, "Can I borrow the car keys?" That was me. Sons are assholes. That's how it works. Sorry, Cindy. But yes, we are kind of jerks in that sense. But again, we still love our mom, and I haven't seen mine in 2 years either, mainly because she was in the US and I live in Bali, and of course a pandemic as well. So I can definitely understand the idea, but thank you for putting me back in that kind of place. And the last thing, I did say it was another positive speech, and at the very beginning, I was kind of worried. I'm like, "Oh man, is this not positive?" Because it started off a little sad, and it kind of shot up to positive. So thank God for not putting my foot in my mouth. Well, that was great. 3 great speeches from 3 great speakers. Now we are going to transition. Wait, before we do that, can I get a timers report? Narendra?
Okay. As for your informations, all the speakers are qualified.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
wait a
all I
minute.
need to hear.
Yes, all the speakers are
That's-
qualified. Severin 638, Lucy 628, and Rachel 545. All are qualified.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And before we go into table topics, I'm going to give it to our SAA for the group photo. Are you able to take it, Cindy? So Severine, Fifi, if Desi, can you? Or if we cannot, it's okay. You have the picture there. So we'll take a little quick picture. Fifi, where are you at, Fifi?
Fifi, at least
And Desi?
you put the photo as your background as Desi did. It helps.
Sorry, internet got dropped just now.
No problem.
All right.
Sunny, do you need my help to take a photo?
I did already.
Okay.
We got it. We got it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so this is my niece. Okay, say hi first. She cannot stop talking.
Hi.
Okay, now we're going to take photo, yeah, okay? Okay, don't say anything, yeah, okay? Smile, okay? 3, 2, 1. Okay, hold on, let me check.
Cool. I also get it. No problem. We have LS too.
Okay, let me check.
Mm.
Okay, it's perfect. Thank you, everybody.
Excellent.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, okay, bye.
That's a cool story. All right. Yes. You can see how well I do with children, right? That's why I teach teenagers and destroy them now. But all right. Yes. We are now on to table topics, and we have our jet lagged, soon to be jet lagged, just got off a plane from.
No time to be jet lagged.
Just got off a plane from Boston, USA, or were you in Doha first? Did you land in Doha first? Either
Mr.
way,
Biden is calling you.
She's in quarantine right now, and she's no COVID tested, so that's good. Positive. Anyways, distinguished Toastmaster Pippin.
Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, I'm actually passionate about today's topic about reduce, reuse, and recycle because I think it's the most make sense things ever. I don't know if that's a correct grammar format just now, but you get what I mean, right? It's like the most make sense things that we do, the least that we can do to save the planet, or maybe should I say to save ourselves, right? The planet doesn't need to be saved. It has been here longer than us, but those who will not be comfortable living on the planet is actually human. So we save ourselves by recycling, reducing, and reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, so the first question is I asked earlier who doesn't have role today. So yes, Dian Vivi, let's go.
And Aram.
Dian Vivi, first before we start, I want to remind you the word of the day is salvage. Okay, salvage. Okay, question for you is Dian Vivi. What makes a certain country is slow to adopt recycling? What makes a certain country slow in adopting recycling?
Okay, thank you very much. I think this is about the technology because if we want to recycling, we need technology, not all of the country have the high-tech technology to recycling. But as a human, we can help our country by do the little thing. For example, when we have something, we can recycle it, such as reuse. We have a new clothes, and we can, if we want to buy a new clothes, we may think about it to use our old clothes. And also to reduce, for example, if we go to our office or we buy something like a drink, we can bring our tumbler. But if recycling, it's mean that we need something. We need like a machine that it's, of course, in Surabaya, we have to buy, it's expensive. So that's why the first is the technology, and the second also about the rules from the government. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much for your response, Dian Vivi. Next one, I would like to invite Mr. Amran. Mr. Amran, where are you from?
I'm from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, the land below the wind.
Okay.
Yeah.
The land below the wind?
Yes.
Okay, is it very windy or is it on the highland?
The land below the wind, meaning it is below the typhoon belt. We are covered by Hong Kong, the Philippines. They will get the worst of the typhoon. We only get the tail. That's why it is called the land below the wind.
Okay. I hope your houses stand strong.
So far, yes. So far, yes.
Okay. So question for you is, let's learn about other country because most of us here are Indonesians. Tell us about the recycling system in Malaysia.
In Malaysia, the recycling is done by the business people, the business community, not by the government. I know one company is doing recycling of papers, and that papers they use to make tissue paper, toilet paper. That is what they're doing. But I found another interesting recycle, which I never thought of that. It is a brilliant recycling. That is the butt of the cigarette. But it's not done in Malaysia. It is done in India. This guy is not an ordinary guy. He is not a scientist. He doesn't have science background. But he came with this idea of recycling the cigarette butts. So he collected the cigarette butts from the whole of India and he recycled it, but he doesn't want to share the formula of recycling the cigarette butt into cotton. And that cotton used to make pillows, used as a cushion for make a settee, and even they use it to make earring. I thought that was awesome. He was an ordinary man with that kind of thoughts. And not only he saved the environment, just imagine millions and millions of cigarette butts throughout India. He bought it and he recycled it. And it is a good business. And he saved the environment. At least he saved the environment. Usually cigarette butts landed in the sea, on the streets. So people collect the cigarette butts and sold it to him. And he paid them, he recycled it, and becoming a useful product for the Indian people. But so far we have not have that recycle company in Malaysia thus far. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Okay, I think that's probably can be our goal as in Indonesia and Malaysia to have that kind of company.
Yes.
Just a quick question. Do you have to pay for, in Malaysia, do you have to pay for garbage collection or garbage,
They call it, we pay a certain amount to the municipal council. Yeah, that is, I think, about every 6 months, I think. We pay for that,
Yeah, okay, so I read about this in Indonesia. The one that makes it hard for us to implement recycling or even just simple garbage collecting, practice is because people do not want to pay for it. So they feel like this is the government's job, which is also probably true, but also people actually need to chip in a little bit of money to be able to, afford all of these trucks and the people to collect them and things like that. But if we have to pay like, I don't know, 30,000 rupiah, that would probably $2 a month. People would rather burn their trash in their backyard rather than paying that amount of money, right?
It's very cheap.
Yeah, well, for some, I don't know, for some reason, people choose to burn their own trashes, or they
That
don't
is
use
bad for the
service.
environment. Yeah.
It is very bad for the environment. That's why I can only gritting my teeth whenever I see those things. Okay, so next one is Desi. Desi, are you there?
Hi, I'm here, but I want to turn on the camera.
Oh, do you want to participate in the table topic?
Can I just skip it? And
Oh, okay. Skip is fine. All right. Next
Okay,
one
thank you.
is Sunny. Sunny, do you want to participate, Sunny?
I would like, but at the same time, I babysit my niece. She's
It's
right
fine.
there.
It's fine. We're used to it. It's used to it.
I'll try later.
Yeah. Okay, Sunny. Oh,
She said she'll try it later.
May I try?
just try. You want to try or not?
Okay, I try with my niece. You sit here.
It's
come.
okay. Niece, sit there. Maybe
Sit
your
there.
niece can
Here.
give you ideas.
Come. Uncle, auntie want to see you. Come here. Okay, sit with me.
Hello.
Hello.
Kya kya?
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Question. Okay, Sunny. People say the only recycling system in Indonesia is pemulung or scavenger. What do you think about this quote that the only recycling system in Indonesia is pemulung? Sunny.
Yeah, okay, come here. Recycling system in Indonesia. Yeah. Well, I think for this recent 2 years, the recycling system and also the recycling reuse lifestyle have been worn greatly, because I currently use a product which has come from abroad, and from their social media, they are loudly saying that recycle, reuse, recycle, reuse. Well, I think Indonesia government needs to work hard on this, because currently it has been started by the civil businesser. So I think we need to move. And from my journey from Medan to Bali, I think we all have to learn from the Bali Island people. For the Balinese, they are really aware about the environment. So let's just start it with a small action, like reduce the plastic, reduce using the plastic, or reduce receiving the plastic when we buy something. So when I back to Medan, I try to apply that, and I also try to impact my family. When we go to a mini market and we just buy a mineral water, and then mom, we don't have to take the plastic because we already got what we have, what we want. We already buy what we want, only one item. So I think if the government not move, I think this recycle system and lifestyle, we have to move from ourselves first, from me, and then I impact my family and my friends. Yeah, maybe my surroundings, my neighbors or my colleague. I think let's start with ourselves first. Then maybe being kind or being a good, a green environment can impact to the others. Thank you very much. Back to Diki and Kiki.
Yes, can impact not only ourselves, but also people in the future. Yeah, those who are probably your niece, obviously one of them. All right, thank you so much. Now let's go to Intan. Intan, you want to participate?
Okay, let me try.
Intan, I have a case study. It's a bit long, but I will not repeat it, so please concentrate. Okay, Intan, as we know, in Indonesia, we have sometimes we have separate trash cans, right? One for plastic, this one is for paper, the other one is for food waste. You remember they said, oh, this is biodegradable, this is non-biodegradable. You see all kinds of trash cans in Indonesia like this, right? You're familiar with it, right? Yeah. Okay. One thing that happened that I saw is when I was in an airport, the garbage collector put all the trashes from these bins into one place. So, you know, it's supposed to be 3 separate places, but then when he collected the trash, all of them go to the same place. So basically it's it's a waste of time. And then my question, what went wrong in this situation?
What went wrong with the situation or with the people, I guess, Toastmaster Pipit, because we are living in Indonesia, living in a beautiful countries like heaven, and it makes people get lazy. It's different with people who live in a 4 season. In a winter, it gets hard time for the people. But we are living in Indonesia where we have a nice weather. We do nothing, but we can eat. We don't get a job. We feel easy, and just it become our culture. So does with the garbage. We not, how to say, it's not in our culture, it's not in our habit. Say, for example, like in Japan, they teach how to manage, how to collect, and how to reuse the garbage. Say, for example, the elementary students, clean the milk box. So they wash it and then they clean it and then they collect it. It is already in a education in our culture. So I think this is complex problem, Toastmaster Pipit and all of. So in my mind, I want to make like a Toto-chan school. So the children plan their own food and then they manage their own garbage. I'm sorry. Okay. So I think the problem is complex and it needs complex solving problem. Start from the education, start from the habits, and start from our culture. So who can start that? Maybe all of us. Let's start from ourselves and our kids. Thank you, Pipit.
Okay, thank you. Since you mentioned about Japan, it reminded me, I used to rent an apartment in Japan for 4 days. And they gave me instruction for 20 pages of instruction. And 2 pages is about garbage. So like I only stayed there for 4 days, but they gave me a reading material about how to run the place. Okay, yeah, they're pretty amazing on that. All right, thank you. Now let's go to Rendra. Do you want to take a chance? Who wants to be the timer replacing Rendra? Okay, our test Tom Ben will be the timer. Question for Rendra is, sometimes people do not want to give up their comfort for recycling. For example, the paper that is produced from recycled material is not as white as normal paper. It's not as smooth as normal paper. My question to you is, will you give up your comfort to be able to recycle things?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and table topic masters. There are many confidential things, many needs, and many business purposes that, yes, of course, we have to fulfill the demands, well, at least for the minimum requirements. For example, For confidential letter in my office, we used to use very white paper in a certain size. But hey, that's very rare, really rare. Most often, we can and we use the recycling paper because the needs is not that important and the demand is not that must too. So that's why the thing that must be in a perfect conditions that required by the maybe the law or requirements. Yes, of course, we cannot survive. Sorry, we cannot just give up. But those things that we can use the recycling things, as for example, for drafting engineering drawings before it goes to the final drawing, we can use the recycling paper because it is sketch and it will go to many revisions from the peers, from the leaders, and finally, before it is finally printed out as a final document, we can use the recycling paper, and it could be a 10 times or 20 times much more than the really white paper that we really need as a final drawing. So of course, for those that majority of my life, I can give up to the recycling paper, but to those that really need specialized white paper and certain size, we just use it. So the most important is minimize as much as possible as we can. Give a control back to Topic Master.
Thank you. Yes, of course, we can give up a little bit for comfort, yeah, to be able to save the environment. Although people have their own limits. Okay, this is what I can give up on. This is what I cannot give up on. Another example for me and my students are tissue. You know, there are tissues that are made out of recycled paper, and I provided both of them in my classroom. So those from recycled paper and the other one is just pure tissue. And my students usually choose the pure one because, oh yeah, the one from the recycled hurts my nose, something like that, because it's so rough. In Bahasa, it's so kasar, you know, it's very rough. It's not smooth, things like that. So just really depends on what we can give up on, yeah? Okay, right, next one is Severin. Severin, you indicated you wanted to speak in table topic?
Yes.
Okay, Severin, can you tell us what product you have used before that came out of recycling and whether you liked it or not?
Thank you for the question. At this moment, I cannot think of something that I have used that have been recycled, but what can I say is that as a new mom, I have bought a few things that was previously loved. So instead of having these people who were mom or dads throw their child belongings, I have bought a lot of personal items for my baby, which he has used, which I have kept. And I believe that I am participating in protecting the planet by reducing the fact that people are doing fast consumption and also promoting fast production. I see that in Mauritius, it is becoming something very common. Earlier on, like a decade before, it was not acceptable to reuse things from other people. But I think that as people are more aware about the effect of overconsumption, and also I believe also because of the high standard of living of people, it has become more acceptable to reuse things that people have pre-loved. And I believe it is a small step at least into protecting our environment. But we have local entrepreneurs who invest into recycled products. And I am sure that there might be a few times I have bought recycled things for gifting or to use in my home. So I believe we are in a good path to recycle more and to protect our environment. Over to you.
Thank you. So it's nice to know that Mauritius is trying to do the same thing, right? For me, my product that I like coming out of recycling is my shopping bag. Comes from Sunlight, Rinso, all of this detergent, and what is it called? Liquid soap, all of these things, and they stitch them together and become a shopping bag. Although my husband said it looks very tacky or norak in Bahasa, but I don't care, you know. It's like fully strong and it's one bag for life. I don't have to buy another one. Right, so that is one. Now let's go to the last speaker of the day. I don't know whether it's Natalie or Ben, because Ben or Natalie. Oh, I'll just give both of you a chance. Natalie will compete in the division level. That's why she needs to practice. Okay. So this is related to what Severin mentioned earlier. Okay, Natalie, what makes you think people overconsume something? Overconsumption is a big problem in the world. But what makes you think people like to overconsume something?
Almost is never enough. Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, overconsumption is a major problem in this world. If you see food wastage, it became, I think, top 3 problem globally. Can you imagine how many tons of food was wasted every single day? In the US itself, I think it reached hundreds tons or even 1,000 tons a day. And the reason why I think overconsumption is a major problem in this world is because people got spoiled. If we're looking back throughout history, you can, you notice that in the beginning, we hunted our food at that day. So we only ate what we grow or what we hunted. But the problem nowadays is with the advancement of technology, the food became processed. The shelf life became longer. And then it allows us so much convenience that it actually brings an inconvenient truth that overconsumption is the hidden factor that contributes to global pollution. And I'm not talking about conspiracy theories here. I'm talking about scientific facts and research. If you're looking at the data from WHO, FAO, or even United Nations, you will find what I just mentioned. But I believe that we have a solution for this overconsumption or overconsumption problem. And the answer is actually very simple: to have an enough mentality, to say that I have enough for what I need today. I don't have to have 5 stacks of snacks on my refrigerators because I just felt, oh, maybe I will need it just in case. I don't have to store an extra meat on my freezer just because, oh, maybe I will get hungry later. And I don't have to have, in terms of non-perishable items like bags, I don't have to have 10 bags. I only have 2 hands and I can only bring 1 bag at a time. So I probably can reduce the overconsumption from, let's say, 10 to 5. It's already 50%. And if one person can reduce 50%, imagine if the whole world is doing the same thing. There is power in aggregate motion. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, overconsumption is a major problem in this world, but the solution is quite simple. Scrap out the almost is never enough and start applying that I have enough for today. Back to you.
Thank you. Natalie for president. So it's very politician speech just now, but okay, I will support you. Right, and then I think there's a term for it. The term is the tragedy of soggy cabbage. The tragedy of soggy cabbage. People open your fridge and you will see expired food there. I'm sure somewhere in your fridge, in the back usually, right? And then the vegetable you bought 4 days ago that never touched the pan or never touched the, anyway, and then became soggy, things like that. Or fruit and all of these things. Yes, overconsumption. I think it's everyone's homework right now, right? Tragedy of wrinkled oranges. Yes. Now it's also funny for me talking about overconsumption for someone who have 4 bottles of mineral water in my room. Okay, now next one is Ben. Last one. Ben, you ready? Okay, I know you, Ben. You are known as an outspoken person, right? Right? And no one, if no one noticed, then you're blind. Ben is very known to be an outspoken person. One time it happened when I saw someone threw a plastic bottle in the sea. I was on a ferry ride, and the person was under me, and the first floor, I was the second floor, and then I shouted at him, "You stupid!" You know, things like that, right? I made sure I said something. So then, in the case of when you see someone just throw away their trash randomly or irresponsibly, would you say something to the person? And what would you say?
I would say, well, I have a couple of cases. One, I'm not going to say because it involves my family. But two, we were on a field trip at school and we were doing a little nature walk to this river. And of course, one of the kids was drinking their water and then threw it. And I'm like, pick that shit up. I realized, oops, I am a teacher. I cannot yell at 5th grade students like that. Now, luckily, there was no other teachers around at that moment. But again, I'm pretty cool and calm under pressure. But there are certain moments where I will just lose it. And I did lose it on my mother also one time when she just threw the whole bag of trash. So I'm like, she can't understand English, but she can understand an angry like reaction from me pretty well. Because like Pippin said, I do speak out and I say what I want, but I also have this military kind of like elevation where I talk really loud. I'm not yelling. I just know how to talk louder, which is kind of like getting someone's attention. But yeah, I do speak up and I do get quite angry. And even going to my wife's brother-in-law's village, the kids were just throwing their ice cream wrappers on the ground. And I realized being in Indonesia now for 6 years, I can't be that angry white guy that comes into a small village and just yell at kids. Not a good look. So I've had to become a little bit more tactful where I just kind of got up and started picking the trash up myself. And that mimicking action typically helped because those kids started jumping in action, picking things up as well. And going back to one of the questions is that, Dion had in the very first questions, it's really all about, it's not about education anymore. There's no excuse. We have it. We have the education. Governments said it. In America, they have like $1,000 fines, $500 fines if you get caught littering. But what it's going to really take in any country, no matter what, is accountability from other people to say, stop it. Not having a parent throw something and the kid watch the parent and throw it as well. The parent's got to say, yo, pick that shit up. And the kid's going to, start picking that shit up. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Ben. I think Pipit had some problems. So if you want to take over and ask for timing report, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. She probably got her food now. All right, Mr. Timer, you're in red, but what is our timer's report? And you're muted. And that long flowing hair, muted.
Wait a minute. Okay, good. All speakers are qualified, Ben. All speakers are qualified.
Thank you. And your background's still red, so.
Yeah, I will try to replace.
You're enraging me right now.
Something like this.
Just kidding. Okay. Fantastic. And those were a lot of table topics. And fun fact, I'm the only reason why we're 3 minutes behind. Because if I didn't know, we would be perfectly on time. But it's quite okay. Now we are going to call on probably the most important session of Toastmasters. It is the part where we get to learn from what we did and how can we get better. And here I'll introduce our general evaluator to do the evaluation session, distinguished Toastmaster Natalie.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ben. Okay, guys, so this is the second half of the meeting. We will start our evaluation session. And first up, we're going to start with prepared speech evaluations. So first speech evaluator is Toastmaster Fifi, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Severin's speech. So please welcome Toastmaster Fifi.
John Dryden, he's one of the English poets, said that democracy is essentially anti-authoritarian, that it is not only demands on the right, but imposes the responsibility of thinking for ourselves. My fellow Toastmaster, today we heard Toastmaster Severin presented her leadership style, and there are some good things that we learn from her speech, such as, if you remember, she using bait in her second speech. Remember that she asked audience to open the microphone and ask questions. This is good to open the session, to engage more with the audience and to attract audience attention, because audience will think what is the answer and also curious what is her next speech will talk about. Second, if you remember, she also asked questions to the audience about the leadership style in her closing speech, leaving us to think what is the answer, and also make us to remember again what she shared, because people have tendency to compare their answer with what they just heard. And this is also showing she's creative, while other people usually closing the speech using quote or recap, but Toastmaster Severin leaving us with questions. The third one that we like from her speech is during her speech, she also shows calm and relaxed with the light tone. Although her speech is about the heavy topic, the leadership, she presented it nice and audience able to digest it nicely. Now for the things that Toastmaster Severin may consider to improve is her standing position. You may want to stand a far bit away from your laptop or a mobile phone so we can see half of your body, especially your hand gesture. Because when you presented just now, we cannot see the full of your hand gesture. It's cut off here. So you may consider to stand far away. And the second, in the first 4 minutes, I notice you often using the word but. Please avoid of using but, because it changes something positive into negative. You may consider to choose other words. For example, when you said that I learned this module, but people respond differently. You may change something like this. I learned this module and apparently people respond differently. It's the same meaning, but it's still positive and positive. Toastmaster Severin, overall you presented nice, organized, and creative speech using bait in less than 10 seconds and list question in the closing. We know leadership can salvage ourselves, team, organization, and citizen. You may want to improve in standing position and change the word but into something different without changing the meaning. Thank you. Back to GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fifi. Oh, for any visiting Toastmasters, 2 of our evaluators tonight, Fifi and Lufti, will be representing our club, Bhinneka Online, to compete in area contests. And that's why they're practicing also tonight. So Lufti, I know you're the 3rd evaluator, but before we go for the round robin, I think it's better for you to do your evaluation first so that you can focus on the speech. What do you say? Okay? Yeah, so you can give value to Rachel and then focus on your stuff later. Okay, so to evaluate Toastmaster Rachel Chan's speech, please welcome Toastmaster Lufti.
Okay. Today we heard Toastmaster Rachel Chan's speech about Hello, My Baby. So there are 2 things that I love from your speech. Number 1 is how you bring personal stories, relatable stories with the audience, especially during COVID and during the separation between families, right? Your son is in Kuala Lumpur, so it's I don't know, but I feel like it shows your genuine emotion, and it really moved me. So especially when you're sad, so I just felt it. right? So I felt it. And number two, I love your eye contact and your gestures. That helps you connect with the audience, so it's very good. Now, to elevate your speech to the next level, I would like to suggest two things. Number one, I would like you to focus on the goals of your speech, with this the descriptive language, because this descriptive language, according to the Toastmaster International, is to add language to increase interest or impacts, right? So I would really love it if you can focus on your son, give this more description about your son. For example, his eyes were ocean blue, and then he is tall and he has dark hair. So it's like more description about your son. It would help your speech better. And then number two, I would like to suggest you start your story strong, because the first 15 seconds is very important, right? Maybe you can ask questions like, what is the most innocent thing in the world? So it's like intriguing questions for the audience. Babies, right? So then you go on to talk about your son. Now, you must have a strong start, and also you need a strong finish. For example, you can say, he might be 21, but he will always be my baby. So it's like with pause. It's like it will give a sense of heartfelt genuinity to your speech. So in a recap, I would like to say that I love your speech. Two things I love from your speech. Number one is you give a relatable personal stories. You give a good eye contact, and to give your speech elevate your speech, I would like to suggest that you back to your pathways goals, and then you start and finish strong. Thank you. Back to you, GE.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lufti. May I ask timer, how about both of their timing?
All those speakers are qualified.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me ask our ballot counter, is the poll ready?
Oh yes, Madam GE, the poll is ready.
So you can launch the poll, so you have more time to prepare for the certificate.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You ready to vote for your favorite speaker today? Show the times up. Okay, I'll launch the poll now. Please vote. Okay, do you guys see the polls? All right.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Seni. All the co-hosts, you can PM Toastmaster Seni, because you cannot vote in the poll. Okay, thank you so much. Now we come to a quite special part of the meeting where we're gonna do a round robin evaluation. What does it mean, round robin evaluation? It means that all of us have a voice to contribute for the speaker. So our speaker tonight is Toastmaster Lufti, and as Toastmaster Ben has informed in the beginning, if you have a note, if you can take a note of his speech, things that you like, things that you think he can improve, now is the time for you to share your findings. So I would like to suggest whatever that has been mentioned by the previous speaker, you can cross it from your list so we avoid redundancy. So who wants to start it?
How many minutes maximum allocated time?
There is for the whole thing, let's say 10 minutes for the whole thing.
Okay, I'll start first.
Okay, Toastmaster Amran.
I just want to say this thing. When people evaluate me, I feel hurt. I feel that hurt feeling, you see. But during the two evaluators just now, I didn't feel that hurt. The word they used was very considered, and they highlighted the point of improvement, like Toastmaster Lufti just now.
Sorry, Toastmaster Amran, to interrupt you. This is for Lufti's speech, not for the evaluation. Sorry, before we forgot, he delivered a speech entitled "I Told You So." So, and it's a preparation for contest. So if you have something to add, yeah, no problem. I'll give you some minutes to look back at your notes, and I'm going to start with other people first. Is that okay?
Okay, please.
Awesome.
Okay for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
Toastmaster Ben.
All right, Luki, great job. The two things I would really like a little bit that I'm going to hit on. One, just as someone who speaks English as a first language, there's a couple little subtle grammar errors throughout it, where it's just like little slips. And again, you're not really graded on grammar totally, but it does typically count when we're listening to it. Is it smooth? Is it a smooth transition? All I would say, I don't have any specifics because there's a few. If you want me to help you out and just read over it and kind of help you with some of those grammar errors, I would do that if you need that. And then I think there's some room for like some pauses because you have these really funny moments in there. And think about if we were actually in person giving the speech, you would want to be able to kind of allow for a subtle pause, just in case the audience were to laugh and you were to hear it. And again, that's the one downside of being online is that when we make a funny joke and we're writing it and we know this might be a funny area, especially when we practice, you should definitely watch the recording back because you'll see Natalie's face kind of laugh a little bit, mine and some other people, we kind of have this laughter. So I would take a look when you go back to the recording and look at those moments when we're laughing and give yourself a little bit of a pause to kind of allow us to laugh. So then you can kind of keep going in a natural kind of setting. Does that make sense? Awesome.
Okay.
That's all my
Thank you. And anyone else?
Okay.
Yes, Toastmaster
I
Amran.
remember a speech just now. One thing about speeches is that when you're talking from your experience, you attract my attention, especially when you relate the speech to your mother, to your father, you attract my attention. And there's one scenario that I like the most. You see, when the mother said, "I told you so." Mom knew about it. You do not know. That is your moment. You say, that is your moment. Mom, you know about it. I don't know about it, but this is my moment. I wanted to do it. At that part, I love that. Other than that, I've forgotten about it, but I remember that part, that scenario. Yeah. I like that. I love it. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amran, for your feedback. Anyone else? You can just unmute and speak. Anyone? If not, Toastmaster Pipit?
Yes, I would like to suggest on two things, Lufti. The first one is try to dissect the problem more deeply. So not only on the surface. For example, a lot of people know already that I told you so speech is bad. It doesn't solve a problem. It actually probably make things worse. But why do we keep on doing that? There must be a reason, right? So if you can give a certain ideas of why people are being illogical, okay, they know exactly it's not going to solve the problem. They know exactly it will ruin the situation, but they decide to do it anyway. So probably if you can give, something new in this speech, like, so after listening to your speech, we have something new coming out of it. So not just from the story and predictable stuff in the speech. Okay, so I think I'll challenge you to go deeper to the psychological issues or whatever, that might be the reason. Second, usually I would like to compare a speech with a song in terms of like this. I think the tempo of your speech is the same from the start to finish. So meaning you have to diversify the tempo. Sometimes speak fast just to make people, what is it called? Like anticipating for, like a heightened emotion. And then after that, slow. And then a little bit. So there's a certain, what is it called? The variety in tempo as well, not just in vocal. Okay, so if we go like this all the time with the same tempo, there's no a hurried feeling, there's no slowing down feeling, then it's hard to feel, attracted to it. Yeah, the dynamic. Yeah, I think the dynamic of the speech should be improved. Yeah, so create a certain situation when you look like you're in a hurry. You can run and however, and then after that, slow. So I think that would be my suggestion for roasting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pipit. Okay, I open for other people before I give my feedback. Anyone else wants to give?
Can I?
Yes, please, Rendra.
Luffy, what you've done already very, very good. I will give a small input in terms of video visual from the audience side. As I act as an audience, you better to ensure that you are speaking in the level of your eyes, I mean your camera. So you are not seeing downward or seeing upward. You're just seeing us in the level of your camera. As you can see, as I'm speaking currently, my level of my camera is really good to me, and I have space in my headroom, something like this. You can see it, and I have something in the left and the right. It's very good, and you can use your hands good in front of you. That will, to be honest, good for your marketing in the future. I mean, well, of course, this is the online. You will have the video of you. Somebody will see your speech 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and overall, it is your show. Just ensure your show is cinema.
Hello.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Rendra. Thank you so much. Anyone else before I give my feedback? On the count of 3, anyone else? 1, 2, 3. Okay, awesome. Okay, Lufti, prepare your pen and paper. I will go like very to role play. 2 things that I like is your sense of humor. When you say 40 looks 27 or something, 42, and then you're 40, and then it means that I'm 2 years old. I thought, yeah, that's a new perspective. So you sprinkle humor here and there in the speech, so it makes it a little bit more interesting. Another thing that I like is the words that you use were quite descriptive, and like turning tables, knock us off, knocking on your door, like karma knocking on your door. Those descriptive words, it helps me paint it like picture in my mind. So those are the 2 things that I like. The realization is also there, things that you learn from the story, but here are several things that I believe you can consider. First, related to what Toastmaster Pipit said, the message is getting there, but you need to refine it. How do you refine it? Try to find a new perspective. I mean, I told you so, okay? And then if not, I told you so, then what? Probably you can say, this experience teach me the value of empathy, or the value of understanding, or something that you come out by yourself. So the focus is not on the I told you so, but what you get from the I told you so experience. So that's one. And then in the beginning, in the intro, I thought there will be a twist, because your vocal dynamic hinted that there will be a twist. Like, usually a twist is 1, 2 is positive, and then 3 is totally something different. So for example, your question was why people learn public speaking, because of promotion, because of they're scared, and because they want to ask their girlfriend to marry him, or something like that. Something totally unrelated, or something totally unexpected, or to meet up your mother-in-law, something like that. Give a twist in the beginning just to make it a little bit more interesting. I think that will be better for the opening. And then in your story, in your speech, there are 3 different scenes. First is with your mother. And I agree with Toastmaster Amran. It was already kind of like setup. And then what you can improve from there is let your mother say, I told you so, because you want to use that hook in those different scenes. So use that in your mother's. And then the second scene is you with Mr. Sony. But then most of the scenes were in narrative style. So Mr. Sony said to me, I'm so tired, blah, blah. So you speak as if you are Mr. Sony. Lufti, I am so tired, or something like that, depending on where he came from. Make it a dialogue instead of a narrative or a monologue. And then the third scene is you as a tired 40 years old man. So you can also say to yourself, why did I say, I told you so? Or you can say to yourself, I told you so, or something like that. Just use that as a hook. I think that will be more effective. Last is the closing. When you say, let me close my speech with. Toastmaster Lufti, you don't have to say that, you just say it. So you don't have to give them, let me close my speech with, just say it to close it. That's it from me. And then, yeah, I hope that's beneficial. My time is also up. So if anyone wants to give anything to Lufti, you can also let him know by private message. That's it. Any question, Lufti?
No, I just want to say thank you for all the inputs that you all gave me. So I hope I can use it to perfect my speech for the area contest. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, audience. Clap of hands for all of you. Awesome, awesome. Okay, let's go to the technical role player part of the meeting. Let me start with our counter, Toastmaster Intan Rawit. Are you ready to deliver your report?
Okay, thank you, G. I would like to share my report.
Yes.
This start from speaker 1, Severin. You did a great job, but you still have non-lexical fillers like just 5, and the total is 12. And Lufti, just say 4. So yeah, because your speech is I told you so. Yeah, so there is so in your speech, but that's great. Next one, Rachel, you have 6, and there is no non-lexical, means that your speech is really well prepared and practice before you deliver your speech. And for Vivi, I really love your evaluation session. It's really smooth, and I cannot find any or ah. And for Lutfi, when you deliver your evaluation session, I found out many non-lexical like and for Dian, lexical, I found it 7, lexical 2, non-lexical 5. For Amran, lexical I found 1, and for the non-lexical 7. For Seni, 4, and then 7. Yes. The next one is Rendra as double topic 5. You deliver a great speech on your double topic. And I just found 2. And double topic 6, Severin, 2 non-lexical. Natalie, perfect. And Ben, so, and you know. Okay. Thank you, GE. That's my report for today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Intan. As an counter, I love how you really practice your listening skill, and having this Excel sheet as a visual cues helps a lot for all the audience to be able to see and to check and to also note down which speaking crutches that we all can learn from. One thing that I would like to suggest to you is you can highlight the learning point. So for example, instead of saying, oh, 12 for Severin, you can say, pay more attention on or and then you can move on. So sometimes people forget that the number is not the main point, but to identify the crutches is more important. So that's all well done. Let's move on to the next role player, our grammarian, Toastmaster Titin. Are you ready, Toastmaster Titin?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you, Ji. Gideon Natalie. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. It's a pleasure listening to your speeches. And now I would like to point out some of the words and sentences that can be improved. For example, first one is, if you want to recycling, my suggestion will be if we want to recycle. Because 1, 2 plus verb 1. So no need to put in after the word recycle. Next, by do the recycle thing. My suggestion will be by doing the recycling thing. Okay, by plus verb in, and we use the gerund, that is recycling. Verb plus in, by doing the recycling thing. Next, as a human, we it means more than one, plural. So my suggestion will be as human beings, we. Fourth one, we can bring our tumbler. My suggestion will be we can bring from our tumbler. We forget the preposition from. And therefore make 4 plus verb in. 4 is followed by verb in. So for making, and then for making a noun. Next, when I back to a place. My suggestion will be when I went back to a place. So this is to tell something that happened in the past form, and an English sentence needs a verb. So it requires the verb that is go where, as it was in the past. Next one, it needs complex solving problem. My suggestion will be it needs a complex problem solving method. So not solving problem, but problem solving. Next one, we can use the recycling paper. My suggestion will be we can use the recycled paper. So this is the passive voice, the paper which has been recycled. So we use verb 3 instead of verb in. Then she using. My suggestion will be she used. That is in past form. That's why we use the be after the word use. And then she presented in nice, and the audience can understand it nicely. My suggestion will be she presented it nicely. This is an adverb, ly, nicely, and an adverb follows a verb, present, or presented. It was in the past. The next one, today we heard a speech. My suggestion will be today we listen to a speech, because heard, it means that just because we have ears, so we can hear, and we listen to, it means we pay attention to the speech. And for the number of the WOD, word of the day, salvage are mentioned today. Toastmaster Ben mentioned the WOD twice, and Toastmaster Fifi mentioned the WOD salvage once. And I apologize for any word of the day that I missed. And I do find wonderful quotes and thoughts, and I would like to share with you. The first one is from Toastmaster Luffy. Everything you throw out will come back to you. Another one from Toastmaster Luffy. Don't easily advise people, I've told you so, as we are not in their shoes. From Toastmaster Semi, a green environment can give us a good impact. From DTM Natalie, overconsumption is a hidden factor that contributes to global pollution. There is power in aggregate motion. Last one from DTM Natalie, start applying I have enough for today. From Toastmaster Fifi, leadership can salvage our team. So that's all coming from me for the grammarian's report. Thank you, and back to you, GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Titin. What a thorough grammarian report. We really appreciate your help and sharing. And also, I appreciate how you reminded people to use word of the day throughout the meeting in the chat box. And it really helps us to be more aware. I also like the value of learning and the visual cues that you presented in your PowerPoint presentation. Only tiny bit suggestion, and this is nothing about the grammarian rules. Sometimes I felt your voice a little bit muffled, maybe because of the earphone, just a tiny bit. In case you wanted to do like prepared speech, this is something that you probably can consider. Overall, it was excellent job. Thank you. And last but not least, I'm going to give my general evaluation throughout the whole meeting. First stop is I love how our club meeting always start on time. This is something that a habit that we're trying to keep up from the beginning until now. So good job on that. For the overall meeting participation, I think it was quite high, and each role takers and each speaker did a wonderful job. Wonderful speeches we heard from 3 prepared speakers, wonderful table topic also. And I wanted to give a little bit feedback for everyone so everyone can get something to bring home tonight. So first up, Toastmaster Ben, as the president, as the Toastmaster of the meeting, you really show your personality. It was very authentic and humorous. You managed the time well, and the segue from one speaker to another also well. My suggestion for you is, for you as the president of the club, in the beginning, don't forget to officially welcome the guests, open the meeting, and to greet the visiting Toastmasters as well. Because I think you kind of like missed that in the beginning because maybe both of the roles were put onto you in the same time, but I believe that it's easy to rectify. Good job, keep it up. Next is Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Pipit. I love how it was kind of like informational session. I would feel it, like I learned a little bit about the 3 R's. You really connect to the team for all the questions. My suggestion is, I noticed you took some time for you to speak, like explain the questions, blah, blah, blah. Table topic session is intended for the speakers to speak. So maybe consider to give more time for speakers, simplify the question, shorten it up if it's possible. That's it. Other than that, well done. And then let's go to timer, Rendra. Rendra, thank you for stepping up at the last minute. You really focus on listening and multitasking and do the timing without any hitch. One thing that I would like to suggest to you is just to post the time in the chat box, just so everybody knows the exact time. That's it. Other than that, well done. For Zoom host and ballot, Toastmaster Seni, she worked a lot behind the scene. She already ready to roll from the beginning because she's also our SAA. So I would like to give my appreciation for you. Everything was set up nicely and prepared wonderfully. A little bit suggestion is sometimes you forgot to spotlight the speakers. Just make the transition quicker. That's it. Other than that, well done. Let me go to the prepared speech evaluation first for Fifi and Lufti. Now it's quite interesting because Fifi and Lufti have different strengths and different points to improve, I would say. For Fifi, I love you always have a good opening. Like if I remember from the previous evaluation also, this time you started with relatable quote. I think the quote was excellent. You also had positive language and encouraging way of evaluation. I think that's one of your major strengths. So keep it up. At the end, you had summary as well, which both of you had. And this is crucial in contest because summary counts for 15%. For Lufti, your strength is you're very analytical in your recommendation, in analyzing the speech. So the analytical quality is high. You also have the summary. And what I like from you is you give numbering. So in the beginning, you say there are 2 things that I like. There are 2 things that I would like to suggest. This is something that Fifi can learn. So Fifi can add that in the beginning to give like cue for the audience, because you say first and second, but then in the beginning, it will be nice if you say there are 2 things that I like from your speech. To elevate this, there are 2 things that you may want to consider, just so it's clear from the beginning. Things that you both can learn is don't say we, in your evaluation, because evaluation is your own personal opinion. So you can say, this is what I noticed, this is what I felt. So you cannot assume the audience is like you or think like you. So anything that you say, just say I, and then don't say I don't know, I feel, I don't know, I think, blah, blah, blah. Just say I think, because you never know, right? But this is what you think. Another thing that I would like to recommend you both is, remember, when you say something, it's the what. You need to explain why you suggested that. So for example, Fifi said, oh yeah, use the hand gesture. So better screen distance. So your hand gesture is clearly visible. Why it is important that the hand gesture is clearly visible? It's to add dynamism in your speech, for example, or to engage more with the audience, for example. Say that, because that's like the why. And also for Lufti, I noticed that things that you can learn is how to add more compliments in your evaluation. Don't just stop, oh yeah, you have a good eye contact and hand gestures, I really like it, full stop. You can also say why eye contact is important, why you like it, and why it's important for the audience to know it's important, if that makes sense. I think that's all for both of the speech evaluator. Now, let me give a little bit for the table topic speakers. Overall, tonight, I think we had a really high standard of table topic. All of the answers had values, substance, and message. I was quite surprised, like pleasantly surprised. For Dian, it was a great example of prep. You started with a point, you explained the reason. Dian used a lot of examples, and also at the end, she add with the point as well. My suggestion for Dian is to emphasize points, certain points when you speak. So I noticed that you had a good focal projection. Just emphasize the points that you want to emphasize so that we can remember what are the things that you want us to remember. For Toastmaster Amran, it was such an interesting story. It has a really good value, you know, and you deliver in such a passionate way. So we know that this matters to you. I would suggest for Toastmaster Amran, the conclusion, because the conclusion you actually brought back to the question, which is great, you know, about Malaysia. My suggestion is the conclusion can be, you know, made in a higher note. So for example, this has not happened in Malaysia, but I hope this can happen in near future. Something like that, to give a little bit of hope, because you don't want to end in like a very sad note, or like a hopeless kind of thing. That's it. And then Toastmaster Seni, also a good prep. And I like how you add call to action at the end, started with you. I think that's a very special. One thing that you can learn is that when you hear a topic in the beginning, that your topic is about scavenger, right? Or pemulung. You can also give a clearer direction at the opening. So for example, you can say, I think scavenger is not the only way to recycle in Indonesia. That is one of the way for you to set the direction of your topic, because the other, you already explained it. You give examples, you give illustration. Just need to have like a general direction in the beginning, so we know what is the topic and where do you want to go with that. For Intan plays a lot of comparison game this time. She compared the garbage, compared the weather, compared the Indonesia and Japan. So there are a lot of complexities in her answer just now. At the conclusion, she also has call to action. I don't see any like specific things that I can suggest for Intan, but I would like to challenge you to explore more in terms of stories, because I notice most of your answer is like point and then you give examples. So I would like to challenge you, try to answer with storytelling way. So you tell a story and deliver a moral of the story, if it's applicable in the next time. So I think it will be really good for you. Well done. For Rendra, you're very relaxed, which I love, because it seems like you got everything under control, and you answer with prep as well, with a relatable answer. Like everyone of us here has been in that situation in the office, right? What I would like to suggest to you is you need, similar to Seni, you need to have some context in the beginning before actually delving into the explanation. So instead of going to, oh yeah, the white paper and then the yellow paper, you can go to the bigger picture first. What is the bigger picture? The bigger picture is the one that you mentioned at the end, at the conclusion. So brought that in the beginning, and then when you put it again at the end, it will tie in nicely. For Severin, I love the pacing. I love the prep also, where you explain what happened in Mauritius. My suggestion for you, actually, it was done wonderfully. I thought one little thing that you probably can add is how it relates back to us, because it's in Mauritius, but what's in this for us in Indonesia or Malaysia. So maybe something that you can relate at the end, so we all can, oh, okay. Last but not least is Toastmaster Ben. You use argumentative way to explain the topic. I like your dynamic intonation and the explanation. Just one little thing, when you speak, maybe you're so passionate, sometimes there was like a thumping audio problem. That's it. And that's all for me tonight. Thank you for your participation and for bearing with me to listen to my GE report. And I would like to return it back to our Tom, Toastmaster Ben.
Oh, wow. Very thorough and precise. So hopefully you guys took notes, because that's what it's all for. And I think we have a little thing in our, if you looked at our agenda, I think we have a little error because it says our whole GE report is only 5 minutes, which is impossible. So we got to fix that. But thank you for staying with us. We have about 5 minutes left, so we'll try to get it so you guys can enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. But it is that moment of truth where we give out awards, the Hall of Fame session, the All-Star game. Okay. Seni, are you doing it the way you sent it to me? That exact order? Table topics, evaluator, speaker, correct?
You can announce the winners, and I will
Is
share
it
the
that
certificate.
order, table topics, evaluator, speaker, correct?
Yes, exactly. And
All
can
right.
I have a hand from Rendra to take the picture? Yeah.
All right. And the winner for the best table topic is our visiting guest, Amran. Hooray, sir, welcome. Take a picture, smile. Congratulations. Hey, boom. Oh, I don't want to be a spotlight.
This highlight. Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Ben, you will take the picture?
All right, got
Indra
it.
already did it.
Okay. Congratulations, Mr. Amran.
All right, welcome. And good job.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
It wasn't correct. So, Rendra, can you wait until Mr. Amran spotlight it?
I got it.
Oh, okay. Got it, yeah? Okay.
Oh, yep. Make sure. Let me just double check so we don't have to do this again. Bam! Yeah, I'm awesome. All right. There it is. Post. All right. And there it is. All right. So well done. We got it. You guys want to take it again? I think we're good. All right. Best evaluator for the evening.
Oh, President, can I have
Yeah.
30 seconds? Sorry, I forgot to change the certificate date.
Okay. Can I stall for 30 seconds? Absolutely. Definitely stall for 30 seconds.
Whatever you do, don't sing.
No, I definitely won't sing. Guest comments. So, real quick, while we're waiting, Rachel, you came in and gave a wonderful speech. What did you think of our club this evening?
Hi.
I really enjoy to see new faces. The reason why I joined Toastmasters Club is because I always enjoy to meet new people. For this particular night, seeing all of you makes me wanted to present more, to deliver more speech. And specifically, I really enjoy everyone has a personal touch. And when you come to share your comments, your thoughts about how to improve other speakers, in order to improve other speakers, I really enjoy and I really appreciate the detail, the right words, the kind words to help the speakers to improve. And I really enjoyed that. Yeah, that's all I want to share. Thank you, Toastmaster Ben.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Rachel. And that's funny. Our winner for evaluation, she left. But we're gonna give it to our best. Oh, there goes the surprise. Our best speaker, all the way from Mauritius, Severine. Photo, hurry up, let's go.
Thank you.
Is it done?
Got it, right? Make sure I got it. Gotta be on this, people. Gotta communicate, right? Communication is key. I got it though, so no worries. Okay, we're good. We got it. I got it. Good job, Severine. And while you're on here already, give us some thought about coming to our club. No, come back to us. Quick little 20 seconds of how you enjoyed today.
It's not my first time in Bhinneka, and I enjoyed coming because of your welcome and also because of all the things that I learned. Because I believe that each Toastmasters club manage and do things a bit differently. So it has been a great learning today, especially with Natalie doing an evaluation of all what happened. So thank you very much for the opportunity to learn.
Absolutely. And yes, we love having you, right? Even when Robin's not here, you are definitely welcome to represent your whole entire country. Without Robin, it's fine. Don't tell him I said that. I miss Robin. I miss Robin. Okay. Anyway, awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So, as Tom, my role is done. But I'm gonna hand it back to our president, Ben. Phoebe's gone, so we'll give it to her later, but she won the evaluation. So we don't take a picture of that just yet. Thanks, Sunny. Appreciate it though. So sad. She left right when I was going to announce her name. Yay, clap. All right.
President, do we take a picture again?
Sunny, presiding officer is Ben, not Natalie.
Yeah. So wait.
Sorry,
was
guys.
the ribbon not correct?
It's okay. We have
It's okay. We can
Photoshop.
edit it.
Best
Yeah.
tabletop. No, it's fine. We got it. It's best tabletop. He was best tabletop, and we got it. We're good. So
No, they say it's the presiding officer supposed to be your name, but it's still Natalie. That was the part.
that's cool. I'll give all the credit to her anyways. I'm not that egotistical where I need to have my name.
No
on
need to
it.
change it, Sunny. Then no need to change it. Okay.
Yeah, just keep it right. Anyways, I want to get Amram. What is your experience coming to our meeting for today? What did you think? 30 seconds. And you're muted. Unmute, please, sir.
Mute myself. First of all, great speeches. I love the evaluations, and the GE is awesome. And I've learned a lot of things from her. The tips. When I become GE, I will use the tips, especially the evaluation for table topics. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, very
Fantastic.
short and to the point. On the overall meeting, it was very focused. This is the first time I experience a meeting that is very focused. There's no, what they call it, not much of, I don't know what's the word, but you guys have it. Speech, pop, 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 evaluation, pop, 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 you know, it's very smooth. Yeah, I love that.
Appreciate
I think
that.
it should be done that way, yeah. Like normal clubs,
Fast.
they have a lot of, in Bahasa Indonesia, they call it selingan, you know, a lot of advertisement, but yours is no, straight to the
I call
point.
it
I love it.
Omong Kosong, is what I call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, very good. Congratulations. Yeah. Let me
Thank
know
you
your
so
next
much.
meeting. I will attend it. I love to attend such a meeting. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We do pride ourselves on
Yeah.
one, kind of managing our time and getting to the point.
Yes.
I've been to a lot of clubs in Malaysia, and sometimes they're 3 hours long.
Yes.
Uh,
About 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the
But
American
you
way. 1
guys
hour,
focus on the
get in and get
important.
it out.
Yeah. On
All
the
right.
importance. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, and
Yeah.
please come back. Titin,
Well-
no, don't leave yet. We want to hear your words. Thank you for being grammarian. Don't leave.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
please do.
Ben. Thanks for your trust.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Titin. You're always a pleasure to help us out.
Yeah, I'm grateful to
Wait,
get the
she
evaluation.
still have more.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to receive the evaluation from DTM Natalie. So I will try to pay more attention to perhaps my voice or maybe the microphone. Thank you.
Awesome. You're always welcome to come, and I'm pretty sure we will return the favor. All right,
No,
we do have
is the
the.
most active Toastmasters. More active
Yeah, I
than
know.
Robin.
She's gonna get some crazy award for that. I'm pretty sure. All right, we do have last second buzzer beating entry that came in. Club president of Pekan Baru. Pipit also. We have 2 pivots. I've never met a second pivot in Indonesia so far, so this is weird. Right?
Is it here?
Oh, hi everyone. Sorry, I was late actually, so I joined this meeting when you guys were in grammarian session before, but I noticed this meeting was really awesome. That's why now I have something in my mind, like I really want to have collaboration with this club because we really want to learn a lot from you guys. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Thank you. Just contact me and we'll figure it out. We want to. One thing we said, we want to try to change the things up a little bit, do little things different, and hopefully we can kind of start doing that, and inspire more people to come in. But I think we are pretty much done, right? We're good. We got it. Thank you again, all of our guests and role players. You guys are awesome. Club members, speakers, table topic people, club president, you're awesome. I know, right? Okay, so with that, I'm going to close this meeting. It's adjourned. Have a great Sunday and a good week. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye-bye, guys. See you in 2 weeks. If you want to